And hello, YouTube, long time no see, and welcome to, surprisingly, another Narnia Life episode. I haven't recorded one of these for quite a while actually now, as if you've been following the Narnia news, you probably would have heard there hasn't been any, which is the reason why I haven't been doing Narnia Life videos, but there has been a couple of interesting articles that I do want to quickly go over, and there is, if you go on Narniaweb, if you go on Narniaweb, the top story is basically what this video is going to be talking about. So obviously we're going to be talking about the Netflix Narnia series, films, whatever they're going to be, is apparently moving forward. Now before we discuss that, I am going to talk about a couple of sort of previous articles that have come out, which I didn't think they really needed a video talking about them on their own. So one of them was about Georgie, because she's currently in the Spanish Princess. Now I know that's split into two parts because there's White Queen, the White Princess, and then the Spanish Princess, and that's been sort of split into like 2 seasons, 2 parts, whatever you want to call it. And there was a photo, I think I saw it on the Narniaweb Facebook page, of Georgie, obviously in the royal sort of dress, and a lot of people have said this is basically what Georgie would have looked like, you know, if the Horse and His Boy film had been made, which I must admit, like, it pretty much was. You know, imagine if the Horse and His Boy movie had been made with the original cast. So the next article that came out was about HarperCollins. They are looking for a graphic designer to rebrand Narnia, which I thought were quite interesting. I don't know really if anything's come of that yet or anything. But that was also on Narniaweb. But the main topic of this video is, of course, the Netflix Narnia adaptations are apparently moving forward. As we all know, you know, there's been no news for quite a while now. So very many thanks to Glumpuddle, who posted this. I believe he wrote the article, he found out and wrote about the article on Narniaweb. So he basically said that, you know, 2018, so over 2 years ago now, because I think it was announced in October 2018, and the Narnia Netflix adaptations were officially announced. You know, all of the 7 books. The rights were bought by Netflix. First time, you know, a company has had the rights to all 7 books. So then 2019 came around, and Matthew Aldrich was announced as the creative architect. And then, of course, the infamous 2020 rolled around. And, of course, you know, the COVID-19 pandemic basically went all across the world, and, you know, it basically crippled the sort of film, TV industry. You know, filming for tons of shows and films had to come to a halt. I think that's still happening now, even though we're several months into the pandemic, because I know recently the Friends reunion has been pushed back. I know a couple of movies. There was a film called Mortal Kombat that was meant to be coming out in January 2021. That's been basically shifted, hasn't got a release date now. And I believe many more films, you know, James Bond has been delayed how many times? Wonder Woman, they're on about delaying that. That's still down for release Christmas Day. Whether it'll be released Christmas Day and then on streaming the same day, I don't know. But anyway, back to Narnia. So obviously with COVID, you know, it's obviously caused a ton of problems all over the world. Not only in the film and TV industry, but, you know, hospitality, shops, businesses, they're all losing money, going out of business. You know, schools, colleges, universities have shut. You know, people are losing their jobs. You know, people are getting themselves into debt. You know, just COVID is just basically altered the world as we know it. And it is still currently ongoing. You know, I know some places in the world have got it worse than others. So currently in the UK, obviously where I am, it's different depending on where you live. If you live in England, you know, Wales, Scotland or Northern Ireland. Obviously I live in England, so we technically, as of this recording, we are still in a 4-week lockdown, which is in talks to be extended till after New Year, we've been hearing. But yeah, so basically, I've wrote a note here. So essentially, Netflix France. I don't know why the Pacific France came, but Yeah, I don't know why specifically Netflix France, but apparently they tweeted a list of like films and shows that are still in production, that are sort of being in sort of the planning sort of stages. And Narnia was listed. So obviously it was all in French, but roughly what they said was, these are the shows that we don't talk about every day, but they are in development, they are moving forward. So like I said, obviously Narnia was listed. The Crown season 5 and 6, that was listed. I know season 4 is currently, I think it's due to premiere at least in the UK on Netflix. This coming Sunday. The next part of Lucifer, Sex Education season 3, Warrior Nun season 2. There were a ton of basically shows and films that are sort of in the planning stages. Like I said, Narnia was listed. So it does go to show there has been stuff still going on behind the scenes. Probably COVID has probably delayed everything. A lot of people might have been, in sort of boardrooms when they're discussing ideas. Obviously that couldn't have happened due to social distancing. So a lot of people might have been working from home, video calls, emails, stuff like that. So there is obviously other ways to communicate. But obviously, like everything, I'm guessing COVID has probably delayed a lot of aspects. So that's really the only news we've got, is that the Narnia Netflix adaptations are moving forward. There is work going on behind the scenes that the general public don't know about. It's good to hear some sort of assurance that Netflix Narnia is sort of moving on. Because I was I've been thinking about this over especially over recent months. I've gone back and watched the Narnia adaptations again, and I've been thinking like there hasn't been any news. I've been checking sort of every like couple of times a week, and there just hasn't been no major news. There's been sort of odd articles here and there, but nothing too major to talk about. So this is like the first major thing to talk about in quite a while, actually. So like I said, many thanks to Glumpuddle for obviously writing this and letting the Narnia community know. Of course, once there is some news, I will of course do another video. Who knows what they're doing? Obviously, they're still in the planning stages, so they could be talking about locations. But obviously, locations, it depends on COVID. Depends where they're thinking of filming. Can they film there? What happens obviously with social distancing. Depending on if that's ever lifted, it's gonna be difficult to film via doing social distancing. Obviously, depending on the vaccine as well, there's been news about a possible vaccine. What happens if like they manage to get the crew and the cast and then someone comes down with COVID. I've heard on The Witcher, I believe that's been shut down again. They're currently, I believe, sort of filming, and that production's been halted again due to COVID on set. So obviously that's going to be a problem. Who knows? Obviously they're on about casting choices. Who knows how they're going to do it, but we do know at least the Netflix adaptations are moving forward, and hopefully once COVID decides to go away, then hopefully we'll start getting a bit of Narnia news, hopefully. So that is it for this video, guys. What do you think of this news? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.